Hello. Welcome to another installment of the Central American Group's podcast, in which experts discuss topics related to doing business in Costa Rica, El Salvador, and the rest of the region.
Today with us is Daniel.milla. Daniel is a commercial broker for Colliers in El Salvador. Today we're going to talk about trends in industrial real estate in that country in Central America. Good morning, Daniel. How are you today?
Hey Steve, how are you? I'm glad to be here with you and ready to start.
Well, listen, before we start, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your Colliers operation in El Salvador?
Yeah, sure. I'm I've been in real estate for almost 8 years now, and Colliers has started here in the country last year, and it's consolidating operations in the Central American region, adding to the almost 65 countries that it already has, and it's opening offices in all of Central America to consolidate the region and explore opportunities that are are opening in this region. So we're very happy about that. And the expansion mentality of Colliers and the enterprising mentality has really drawn me to it was one of the reasons that drawn me to join the network, and here I am. I have experience in residential real estate and also commercial. So since Colliers is majorly a corporate real estate company, one of the big four, JLL, Cushman, CBRE, and Colliers. Yeah, a lot of opportunities are opening up here in El Salvador and in
Well,
the region.
that's interesting that you talk about opportunities in El Salvador. There's been a lot of changes under the current president, and I'm sure that given the much improved security situation in El Salvador, that trends are positive for you there. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those trends?
Yeah, sure. In the industrial market in El Salvador, one of the trends we're looking at is an increase in BTS projects, meaning built to suit, because we are finding that we have, as of right now, a low supply of industrial properties that are over 3,000 meters of roofed space. So this is a great opportunity to meet demand, and we have the full capacity within Colliers also to generate these projects and get your facility up and running into 6 to 12 months in strategic locations in and around the country. So one of the reasons for that low supply is, to your point of the security increase in El Salvador, a lot of land locations have opened up due to that security increase, and is allowing all of these um, new locations that are opening up in that have a great potential in terms of the logistics uh, corridor that's being built in the country.
Have you seen, speaking about changes in El Salvador, as a result of the improving situation, do you see a greater level of interest in international manufacturers in looking at El Salvador as a potential place from which they can operate their businesses?
Definitely, definitely. One of the potential one of the greatest potentials of El Salvador is not only the geographic location, because we you can get but two you can get a 2.5 hour flight to major markets in US and Latin America, and 5 days by sea, which is a great connecting um which is great because the times are great to connect major markets, and um that's really important because due to the security that's opening up, a lot of locations. That's one of the one of the one of the major pools. Also, there's a lot of El Salvador is a monetary is the US dollar is a legal tender in El Salvador that grants monetary stability. Also, there's a lot of tax incentives that can benefit major multinational companies like the investments law, the industrial and commercial free zones law, which add a lot of income tax exemptions, value added exemption. Also, there is no property tax in El Salvador, and there's also an exemption on real estate transfer fees for new major multinational companies that are going to operate here in El Salvador. We also have export and reactivation laws, international services law, and free trade agreements for Central America, US, the European Union, Mexico, Colombia, Chile, Panama, Taiwan. So the country is ready to receive all these multinational firms, and it's open for business.
What kind of manufacturing companies, if you could give us a few examples of the kind of manufacturing companies that have looked at El Salvador or in the process of looking at El Salvador um, during this period of improved security?
To name a few, one of the, for example, Haynes Brands is one of is a multinational firm in manufacturing that has has operations here in El Salvador. Also, Fruit of the Loom, Text to Fill, Young One, which is Korean, and all of these are already established here in the country, and some of them are looking to expand operations. And not only in textile and manufacturing, we also have a lot of multinational firms that are within the beverage industry or bottling industry, food industries, plastic and production, metalworking, paper, cardboard, and graphic arts, furniture, pharmaceutical from all over the world. So we definitely have the capacity to harbor all these firms, and not only within the country, but um, I mean, due to the geographic location of the country, but also for um, due to the manual labor and skilled labor available in the country um, that work within free trade zones and IPWs, which are inward processing warehouses.
Well, in terms of companies that are looking for guidance, what can Colliers do for investors that are looking to make capital investments in the company? I mean, excuse me, in the
That's
country.
that's a great question because um, Colliers is a one-stop shop, and also it's a multinational firm, and we have all the expertise that comes from all the Colliers network and the 65 countries that we're in, and we get top experts from all over the world. And we can do from appraisals to market research, high and better use and of land studies to grant the best and highest use for the best site selection for your facility. Also, project management, construction design, supervision and management, site selection of land, facility management, financial components to investments. Also, we have the capacity to do projects to execute projects from A to Z. And that's from the site selection of the terrain to the final design of the office space or industrial space or hotel. And we do have the capacity to do that, and we're interested in everything real estate, and we're passionate about that.
Where do you see, is there a part of El Salvador or an area geographically of El Salvador that you see the most activity in? And if that's the case, what area is most active in terms of possible new business installation?
Regarding industrial, I'd say one of the hotspots right now is Nejapa, which is in the northern part of the country, in the central part of the country, and also Ateos and Sitio del Niño, which is which are very important logistics corridor because of their proximity to the Puerto de Acajutla, like the Acajutla port, which is under expansion right now. It's going to be expanded from 310,000 TEUs, which is a 12-foot equivalent unit, to 910,000 TEUs. That increases the capacity to harbor more product, which is great news. Great news. There's also government incentives and projects to reactivate Puerto La Unión, which is in the other end of the country, in the west end of the country. I'm sorry, eastern end of the country, and that will greatly increase the capacity of the import export situation in the country.
Can you tell us if there are other investment opportunities that we haven't mentioned thus far that people should take into mind when looking into El Salvador?
Yes, and on that point, I'd like to add there's high investment interest in the country due to government actions and legal and economic standpoints. And also, it's important to mention that major multinational companies like Google are looking to set up shop here in the country, and there's a lot of opportunity for hotel developments and in the beautiful Salvadoran beaches, and also residential and vacational developments. There's also a great opportunity in solar energy products. El Salvador has one of the highest radiations levels in Latin America, I'm sorry, for these types of projects. And we're adding a considerable amount of industrial space in the coming years. So everything is looking up. Everything is looking up, Steve.
Well, it's wonderful to hear that because El Salvador has had a lot of challenges over the years, and it's nice to see that things are moving forward in your country. I want to thank you for joining me today. I want to wish you the best of luck and a wonderful rest of 2024 that's just starting out.
Thank you, Steve. Also to you, and thank you for the invite. I'm grateful for the time and space.
All right. Well, thank you and have a great day.
Thank you for listening. Sign up to receive the Central American Group's quarterly newsletter by visiting www.thecentralamericangroup.com.